Hi, this is Peter Punzi, horticulture guy, and we're here at the Punzi Grange. And if you've been following the show, a couple months ago, we set up our cages for our tomato plants, and we covered them with this remake cloth to give them a head start, get them a little warmer. And as I mentioned at the time, they can get 10 degrees to 15 degrees warmer under here. And as you can see, they really enjoyed the extra heat. And they're starting to flower and set fruit already. So we're pretty good shape for getting ripe fruit before our frost in the fall. So we're pretty happy about that. What I wanted to talk to you about now is actually pruning these. If you followed this and you're doing this at home, I'm going to mention now that as the taller varieties, as they grow up through these cages, since they're shorter, we're going to prune them back and create more growth from the bottom and also put more energy into the fruit. So I'm going to show you now how we're going to prune these. We're going to go and we're going to look where there are flower clusters. So here you can see that there's a flower cluster. So you don't want to take that off because there's no new growth. It's just ending in a flower cluster. So we'll leave that and get all those fruit. But here right next to it, you see we have this new growth that's going to keep going up higher. So I'm going to just take that off. And now we'll have the fruit here, and now it'll send new growth from lower below. So you can do that with all your tomato plants, keep them nice and short, and hopefully if you're following me, you're going to get some ripe fruit with me this fall and make lots of tomato sauce and have lots of salads. So if you remember, last month we set up this fishing line here, and now you can see the beans are looking for some place to grow up. Now, most likely the beans are going to find their way to the trellis, but being out in the garden, every once in a while I give them a little bit of help. So just kind of say, hey, the trellis is right there. And now you can see it's on his way right up the trellis. And I have a feeling by next month we might be picking some beans, and we'll be steaming them up and putting some butter and salt, and that'll be good. So while you might be inclined to just sit back, relax, enjoy the perennial garden, smell the roses, now is actually the time to start thinking about your winter garden. And the seeds that you're going to start now are many of the seeds that you started early in the winter for your spring garden, all those cool weather crops, all the brassicas, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, beets, and kohlrabi, as well as carrots, and spinach and lettuce. You're going to start them now and harvest them fall and winter. Now there's two of those, the spinach and the lettuce, that you're going to have to do a little trick to, because from where they come from, warm weather means drought, and that means that they have an inhibitor in the seed that when the soil temperature gets above 70 degrees, they're not going to germinate. So what we're going to do is we're going to trick them in the refrigerator. What you'll need is a paper towel, fold it up, and you'll moisten the paper towel, and then wring it out. And then we're going to open it up, and we're going to put some seeds in. And I have some lettuce seeds, and you don't need to do more than you're actually going to sow. You know, maybe a couple more. So you see I put a little handful in here. And then you just sprinkle them out on your wet paper towel. And then we just fold it in half. Press it down so it comes in good contact with the seed, the moisture, because you want them to be wet. And then you just slip them into your Ziploc bag, and you can put a couple in here, a couple different varieties. And then you just seal up the bag, don't leave too much air inside. And then you just use a Sharpie pen and mark down the date, you know, lettuce, and the date. And then you put it in the crisper section of your refrigerator for 2 weeks. Then after 2 weeks have come, you take it out, get out your seeds, and just take them off, sow them right into the garden. It's that easy, and you'll trick them and they'll be ahead of anybody else's lettuce because they will have started to germinate weeks before the other people's will. So until next time, this is Peter Punzi, horticulture guy from the Punzi Grange. Live long and garden.